As a continuation of my ongoing clutch problems, I had to splash out another $60. Yeah, I know my title is Zero Dinero Mechanic, hinting at the fact that I don't spend money on anything, but unfortunately I couldn't get these parts used, well certainly not in good condition anyway. Okay, so what I had to buy was a new master cylinder for the clutch. This is the cylinder itself, and of course, as you can imagine, that's the reservoir, the clutch reservoir. This is the bit that goes, this is the bit that goes inside the cabin here. This goes inside and to the pedal. I hope it's the right one. It looks like the right one compared to what's on the truck. I'll compare it now. What else do we get in the box? We get this pin, which this end here clips onto the pedal, and this end goes here inside the piston to the pump itself. So that goes in there. There's a few other odds and sods. There's no tube to go from the pump to from this pump itself, from this connection here down to the gearbox. So I've got to reuse the old one, which is what I think is what these are for. But I'll see when I take it off. Okay, let's compare it to the one that's on the truck. Alright, so there's the reservoir. And this piston down here, this thing, I have to apologise for the light. This thing here, where is it? This thing here, it's a clutch cylinder right under the brake booster. Oh, perfectly positioned. And by the looks of it, it angles down, much like this does, like that, if that goes flush against the bulkhead. So maybe we're in with some luck here. The part I'm actually really not looking forward to replacing is the pin on that goes from the pedal to inside the piston here. But I don't know. I'll get some tools and I'll start removing it, and we'll see what happens. Right. That's at the pump. 10mm quarter drive. I got this one fairly easy, and I got the other one which is underneath the booster, which wasn't as difficult as I thought actually. But as you can see, using every quarter drive extension I had, coupled to a 3/8 extension, doing this way is much better than fighting with the tools underneath all these wires and stuff. So I thought that was the best way of doing it. That's loose, so let's see if I can take that out. No access at all, but right, there's 1 bolt, 2 bolts. Right. Now, I've never taken one of these off before, so I don't know what's behind it. What are you stuck on? Yeah, it's fastened to the pedal, of course, inside. While I'm here, I'll just loosen this. What size would you say that was? What, 8mm? Yeah, let's see. It is 8mm. It's only held on 1 by 1 bolt. Right, before I run this off completely, what I'm going to do is I'll duck inside and I will try to find how the pedal is connected, but I might have to move a couple of panels to do that. Right, I've got to remove this panel below the steering column. Yeah, I've already undone one and undo the second one now, which is, I think, is a 6mm. Right. Like that. and that contains the what the hell is it? Can't remember what that is. That thing. Where is it? I don't know. There's the brake. Is that the bonnet release? Must be the bonnet release. Never mind. Okay, right. Here's the clutch pedal. Now, in the new one, it has one of these like ball joints, plastic ball joints, pop on and pop off ball joints. Now the one on the truck I'm believing is to be the original. Oh, this camera won't focus at all. So it goes on that way, click, and on the clutch pedal there is one. Right, you can see that. This is the clutch. This is the pin here. And up here. I'm pointing this blindly now so that you can see it or not. But where this rod joins the pedal, it feels like a ball joint. So I'm going to try and put an old screwdriver behind it and pop it off. Let's see what happens. Come off. And this thing here, this is the clutch switch with ignition. Oh, that's the cylinder. I believe that's the cylinder. This is the switch with ignition where you have to push the clutch in so that you don't start the car in gear. It's curiously American thing. We don't have these in England. So I need to put the camera down a second to try and prise this thing off. I'll be back in a moment. Right. Okay. I couldn't get it off the pedal for some reason. It was really on there. So what I did was I jammed the screwdriver through the hole so the cylinder couldn't come all the way forward. Yeah, you can see that right there. I jammed the screwdriver through the hole, and then I got the pedal here and I went yank like that and pulled it right forward, and it popped right off. The pin pulled right out of the cylinder. And you want to know something? Look at this. It's wet. Look at that. Fluid. Justification. This is the reverse switch that comes off. This is activated by this pin. The new pin has a shank on it here, look. And this is what presses the switch to activate it. You know what, I might bypass that. I might stick this new one through it and then just tie it up. I might stick this through it and just tie it out of the way, because to be honest, that bloody clutch switch really gets on my nerves. Anyway, it's disconnected now. It's out of the cylinder. The cylinder is free. So I remove this. What? Go back around to the front. Right, so the cylinder is pulled out of the hole. Took some jiggling, but is now free. So what I'm doing is I'm releasing the reservoir. See, you can see that there. That's the cylinder. So now what I've got to go on to do now is go underneath and remove that clutch pin, that pin that holds the hydraulic cable to the slave cylinder and the transmission. So I'll just do that. Right, I finally have it off. There's the cylinder, there's the reservoir, and this is the tube that goes to the gearbox. This, believe it or not, was the biggest problem to get off, because about here or here, it goes. I can't remember, because it goes under this, over the chassis, this loop here, or under the body or something like that, and there's a plastic clip here holding it, and it's hidden under the. Where are we? It's hidden under here somewhere. Yeah, I can't really see it. Under here, you have to and I have to cut it off with a screwdriver, because I couldn't do it. But anyway, let's compare this old one. Let's compare this old one here to the new one. And this is the new one. Just want to check that so they're not quite the same length. More or less, but yeah, more or less, a couple of millimeters in it. And the tubes are the same length. The angle for the output is more or less the same. So what I've got to do is, now anybody who watched me install the clutch cylinder will hear me moaning about how I thought this thing here was the problem all the time, and that if it leaks, these leak, they generally run down the pedal. But in my experience, in England at least, they do. But if you can see here, it's wet. You can see that because of the sun. It's wet inside. It is definitely leaking. But normally, the fluid will run from here and run down the pedal into the cab of the truck. But never mind. At least we know this is the problem now. So what I have to do is take this roll pin out here and remove this tube, because it has to be reinstalled back into the new one. So what I need to do is try and drift that out with I guess a nail or a small rivet head or something like that. So let's give that a go. Right, so what I did was, I've just got a nail, ground the head off it, more or less flat, and it fits into this hole kind of nicely. And I'm going to use this, I'm going to put it upside down. And as you can see, I've already driven the roll pin out a little bit. So to get it out some more, I'll do this like this, and then I'll just knock the cylinder down. You can see it's coming out. There's the old roll pin, which is in this hole. Take that out, and hopefully, yes. And there's the cylinder. The tube separated from the cylinder. Now I do believe I've got a new. Oh, I thought I had a seal on it. Oh, there's the seal. The seal's in there, look.